Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to another watch along on the channel. Today is not Ipswich, it's not Norwich. In Joel's opinion, it's the biggest club in East Anglia. We're watching Colchester United against Harrogate Town. Joel, thank you so much for joining me this evening, mate. First of all, before we get into the nitty gritties of Colchester, how are you? How are things going in lockdown? How are you finding things?
Yeah, no, really good. I've been working the whole time, so it's
All right.
me going to work every day. So haven't worked from home, so I've stayed pretty normal, really.
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um,
So
let's talk Colchester. Obviously, what
yeah,
we're here for tonight. First of all, how long have you been supporting the club for?
probably since about 97, 98.
Right. Okay. So quite some
Quite.
time. And how did you get into? I guess parents maybe or
Yeah, dad's dad's side of the family's always been big Colchester fans. Always gone to games and stuff, and I got dragged along as a young 3 or 4 year old to a few games, and wasn't until probably I was about 8 or 9 that I got hooked. But yeah, was going to games from when I was about 3 or 4.
right. Okay. So quite some time in. What's been your best moment as a Colchester fan, looking back on the time of supporting them? Obviously, this season
So
we can't include this season, but what's been your
um,
highlight?
what this season? Sorry.
No, I'm saying we can't include this season because it's been atrocious.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
what's been your highlight?
So the 0-0 at Yeovil that got us promoted to the Championship. That was a pretty special day. We'd never been in the Championship before, and obviously getting promoted in back then in 2006 was fantastic for a club the size
Yeah,
of Colchester. We were still playing at Layer Road at the time, and obviously big clubs like Sunderland, yourselves at Norwich, and that all coming down, and the
yeah.
town coming down to Layer Road. I didn't like it.
Do you miss Layer Road?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's the new ground is great in terms of making us a little bit of money on the side of the corporate events and everything. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice stadium, but it's not your traditional football stadium, is it?
No, no. It's a.
Very,
I've been there several times myself as an away fan. I've never gone in the home ends and whatnot, but every time I ever spoke to a Colchester fan, they were going because obviously their love of the club. It wasn't because they actually enjoy going to the new stadium. They were going because it's what they've always done.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like Layer Road, when we left Layer Road, as much as we did need to move, it was sad to move away, because as much as anything, it was an advantage to us because you're so close to the pitch and everything. We made it a fortress there, and as much as it only held 6,500, the noise that was generated from that stadium was unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely love that. Love that. Let's talk about this season then. We've got 5 minutes to go before kickoff tonight.
Can we not?
If I'd have done a prediction video at the beginning of this season of where I think Colchester would finish,
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have said if you'd finished 12th, that's been an appalling season. That's been really bad. You guys should be aiming towards the playoffs. You've got a decent team on paper. It looks to be a really good squad. What has happened this season? Why have things gone horrifically wrong that you find yourself sat in 20th place in the table? What for me, looking on the outside, I can't understand what has happened. But obviously, you will know more than myself.
Yeah, of course. Like last season, we finished on a really big I suppose hide the fact that we were allowed to compete in the playoffs after it being curtailed early and stuff, and we went on points per game, and we managed to get sort of like Spencer.
He's got hair. He's got hair, Spencer, tonight.
We lost a lot of key players in the summer. We lost Luke Prosser, who was our captain, and you could tell by the fact that yes, we brought Smudge in with Tommy Smith from from his experience and everything. Yes, he's an international, but Pross probably was the leader across that back four that we are missing now. And you can tell massively in the fact that the way that Cohen Bramall played in the first half of the season, that he was missing that leadership next to him with missing Pross, because he wasn't anywhere where he was last season for us. Taking Ryan Jackson away from right back was a big loss, and then missing the likes of Frank Noble. I know he's come back on loan now, but him going away, and then Brandon Comley going to Bolton. Combs was very, very much an underrated player. He played a lot of good stuff last season, and was possibly on the brink of going out on loan before he broke into the team. And then once he was in the team, we missed him when he wasn't in it.
Yeah. I've just got my live stream ready and raring to go. I'm set. I think Adam's going to be so proud of me. I'm actually ready to go. Shem has got involved in the comments here and said, "Can you ask Joel if he is genuinely worried about relegation? I went there to do some sessions with AD Boothroyd and the ambitions were massive. What has changed?" First of all, is relegation something that you're concerned about this season?
Well, if Grimsby and Southend don't turn their fortunes around, no.
Right. So it's not down to you guys. It's down to.
I mean, we're in a strong enough. I think we're 10 points above, something like that. I mean, I think we've got enough. I think we'll have enough in the tank across the course of the season to be able to stay above the dotted line.
So this is the current league table. I've just brought up on the screen here so that everyone can see it. So at the moment, you're 7 points clear of the relegation zone, and from your perspective, it'll be great to see Southend in there. Barrow have got a couple of games in hand, as have Grimsby. But I think the thing is, when people are down that end of the table, everyone talks about, oh, those teams have got games in hand; they have the upper hand on us. But there's a reason why you're down to that level, and the games in hand don't really mean a huge amount, do they?
No, not at all. I mean, to be fair, it's probably better to have the games on the board already and have the points on the board, purely because a reason we are down there is because we're not winning games. You can tell by the form, like before last week's win, I think it was 15 games without a win. And that's a third of the season when you look at it.
Yeah. This is it. So, I mean, obviously, going from the high of last season, you guys finished in the playoffs, didn't you? At the end of last season, am I right in saying that?
Pardon, sorry. You
guys finished in the playoffs last year, didn't you?
Yeah, and we lost out to Exeter in the semi-finals there.
So going from that, I mean, obviously, you pinpointed a couple of areas on the pitch where things have gone wrong. What do you kind of put things down to from a management perspective? Because I remember seeing quite a few comments maybe 2 months ago where people were starting to question the team lineups and the team selections, and you could just tell that people online were just not happy with the way things have gone. What do you kind of put the management side of things down to? What's gone on there? Just to give our audience a little bit of a background, just in case they're not clued up on what's happened.
Well, mate. Brilliant. Good start.
What's happened? What has happened? My game's not even kicked off yet.
36 seconds with 1-0 down.
Oh my God, you are kidding me. Unbelievable. I'm going to have to find another. Hang on. I don't believe that.
Just a long ball that Omar's decided to let bounce, and it's tumbled around. The guy's turned and shot from the edge of the box, and he scored. So, yeah.
I don't actually believe that. So, yeah, just seen it. Oh my God, that's
embarrassing.
Right. That is absolutely that. Does that just kind of sum up your season? Would you say?
100%. Like, to be fair to us, we're playing 3-5-2 tonight, which is something that's very rare and goes out of the philosophy of the club. Because Cowlin, our chairman, is very much based on build a youth team, build from the youth that we're invested in, play 4-2-3-1 across through the whole of the club. And
right.
One striker's always been that, but I think our main problem is the fact we don't actually have a manager.
Right.
We have head coaches. We have directors of football and directors of performance. Now, on paper, with Cowling, what Cowling puts across to us, our chairman, and says about the continuity is there when we have a director of football. So you're just changing the head coach. So you're not changing too much the club when a new manager comes in.
Yeah.
I get that. Our League 2, and since we've had that, it's just been downward. So the continuity is there, but it is the fact that we are going down further and further.
Because that does seem to be like the modern way of doing things now. Obviously, I can only speak from what is going on with Norwich. We have a head of finance, we have a head of sport, we had a head of youth, Stuart Webber, which is the sporting director, and then we have our head coach with Daniel Farker. That seems to be the modern way that football is tending to go. And obviously you guys have kind of taken that on board. But for you, do you feel like the level of football that you're at, you don't need to go to that kind of depths? Would you say that's accurate? Or it's just
100%. Like,
right.
We're playing within budgets. COVID's absolutely wiped us. Realistically, if you've read any of Cowlin's statements, he's very much keep us in the loop.
Right.
And he'll keep telling us what's going on, where we are, how much he can spend and how much he can't spend, that sort of thing.
Right.
But yeah, it's just frustrating because that money that they're spending on these three big directors, from an outside looking in, it's probably not that easy. But when you're looking at it and you've got three directors on big money or will be on fairly good money, surely you can get an extra couple of players in for what you're paying those directors to do. Because these performances that we're playing, especially this season, nowhere near good enough. So what are they getting paid to do?
It's a fair point. We haven't really talked about a huge amount about what's going on in the game. For me, from what I can see, the goal came from a long ball over the top. Didn't really deal well with the bounce. Harrogate were kind of on the edge of their area, passing it around amongst themselves. And then all of a sudden, every Colchester player's bunched up, gone towards the ball, and somebody's just made an overlapping run on the right-hand side. They pass over to him, easy finish into the bottom corner. And I've just seen Harrogate have had another chance, but really, I don't really think Colchester have got into this game a massive amount.
No, you're pretty right. Like you said, it was a long ball that was allowed to bounce, and I'm not Omar's biggest fan. If you've followed me on Twitter and stuff, on Colchester games and stuff, I can't stand the bloke. I think he's a.
So who's that? Who's that you can't stand? Sorry.
Omar Shomi.
Okay, right.
I think he does struggle at times with the level. But yeah, I mean, Smudge and Eastia are good enough to play higher up this division, but they've struggled because we're conceding too many goals from the width. It falls into the box we struggle with, and considering these three lads are 6'3" plus, all of them struggling with the high ball seems pretty stupid to me. But
so if it is something where you guys are struggling with wing play and keeping crosses out from the box, out from the edge of the area, etc., why do you think the management and the whole setup has continued to play with this three at the back? Because if it's something that's glaringly obvious that it's causing you guys problems.
That was with the four that we were having the problem.
Right. Okay. See, you've switched now to this new formation. Have you seen kind of any improvements with the three at the back?
When we went 3-5-2, we won the game. So
right. There you go. Then. Shem has asked on here. Sorry?
He hasn't started well tonight. But...
No, exactly it. So ball into the box, Colchester clear it. It's on the edge of the area. Now, I'm about 5 minutes and 44 seconds into the game, so you're probably a bit ahead of me, I think.
I am on 6:33.
Right, okay, so you're about 30 seconds ahead of me. I need to change the link I've got. Shem has asked, also, who do you want in there as manager? Would McGreal coming back be of interest to you?
No.
Right.
McGreal had 4 years with us, and as much as yes, you could argue that he's done an okay job, and results by his standards have been a lot better than they have been this year. But I think it would have been exactly the same under McGreal this year, regardless, because he'd lost the core. The club the core got pulled apart, and we couldn't replace it. So I think the season. I said at the start when I was speaking to Dino, I said to him, and he thought the same, that I thought 10th would probably be realistic.
Right.
But we're a bit far off that at the moment.
Yeah. So who do you think would be? Is there anyone? Because obviously I know Colchester like to kind of promote from within.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that's on the coaching staff that you would like to see given a chance, or do you think now is a time where you need to go and get somebody else from the outside to come in? Because there's only so many times you can keep promoting these coaches from the youth level, and obviously now I can't remember the bloke's name who they've now got in. He'll come to me. That's the one. You've now got him in. How long do you think this can continue for?
Well, Cowlin's got his ideas of promoting within. You can only go like you said, you can only go so far because you're just going to run out of people. It'll be the chef and the cleaner next that will be taking the job. You only have a certain amount of people down the list that you can obviously appoint. Brown is probably the best one at the moment within. You've got Hayden Mullins as well, who's his assistant.
Yeah.
Whether or not, I can't imagine he'd want to take the job because they've been thrown out to dry. Really, they've been hung out to dry.
Right.
It is tough. It's a tough job. The recruitment's been pretty poor. But yeah, I suppose if it was down to me, I would go externally. I'd want Culverhouse.
Oh, good shout.
Really would.
I love that.
Kings Lynn. And if anybody knows football really, you'll understand that since Lambert and Culverhouse went their separate ways, Lambert has been a shadow of his past.
I've said it so many times before. I think the thing is with Paul Lambert, and obviously I get a lot of criticism for this because obviously being a Norwich fan and whatnot, but we all thought that Lambert was the guy when he was at Norwich. Because he was the one that was on the media and he was coming up with the team talks and the interviews and stuff. We all thought it was all to do with him. Every time you listen to a player and every time you listen to a former coach or somebody who was in and around that setup at the time, Lambert came in with the motivational team talks, but everything throughout the week and getting everybody set up and the tactics and everything that was there was all Culverhouse. All the trainer sessions were him. I said the tactics, the set plays, the routines that we did, everything was down to him. And that's why they made such a good pairing, because Lambert came in and made them feel 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
But Culverhouse did all the behind the scenes stuff. And you only have to look at, like you said, the success he's had at Kings Lynn.
Yeah.
You know, and the promotions that he's had there to know that he's perfectly capable of doing it on his own. I think that's a hell of a shout. I don't know. I think with this season, with the fact that there aren't going to be any relegations from the National League, I think he might stick around for another year and see what else he can do with this team. But it's a great shout. I mean, who are the kind of favourites at the moment then?
I don't think we'd ever touch him purely because he was part of that Lambert crew that obviously walked out on us to go to your lot.
Yeah, good point.
Howland's still very hurt by what happened there. So I don't think we'd ever go for Culverhouse, but that would be my personal preference would be Culverhouse.
Okay, so who's the favourite at the moment then? Is it Brown who's in at the moment? Do they think that he's just going to get the job on the? Yeah.
So Cowland came out in a statement and said that obviously Brown got put as temporary interim manager for the next few weeks because we had Saturday, Tuesday. Right. He said that he wasn't looking for anybody else. So I suppose it's his audition if it doesn't work, then Cowlin's got a scapegoat that he can go and get someone else. If not, then he's going to appoint him. And I think the easy decision for Cowlin would be to appoint him.
Right. There we go. I tell you what, guys, I'm just going to try and sort out my link that I've got for this one because I said I'm about 30 seconds behind you. Please bear with me, everyone, whilst I go quiet for a few seconds. I just need to try and click on an alternative. Let me try and click on this one, see if that works. Oh, no, that's something completely different. Right, so I think I'm a bit behind you because I'm 10:35.
Oh, I'm 12:24.
Jesus, that's even worse than the other one. I think I'm going to have to go back to the other one. Yeah. Where are we? There you go, let's try that. Right, 12. We'll go with that. Okay. I'm 12:03. We'll go with it. If I'm 30 seconds behind you, I can give a good commentary of you after you've reacted to the goal. We'll stick with that. So, just so everyone is aware, 12 minutes into the game, is Harrogate 1, Colchester 0. From what we've seen, obviously the Harrogate goal was a long ball over, it's poor defending. Like I said, everyone just kind of bunched up towards the ball. Didn't see the man running on the right hand side. He overlapped everybody, took one touch, curled in with his left foot into the bottom corner. Since then, it's been a bit scrappy. I'd say is probably the best way to describe this game. But what I can see now is with 12 minutes and 50 in, there's a long throw into the area. And it's a bounce over the top. Oh, good block there by the Colchester defender at the back post. And the shot's just gone. Sorry?
It's going to be a struggle for us because we can't defend those the balls into the box. So they've got a long throw. Now before the game's said about their long throws, and they actually haven't scored from it this season. So I reckon it'll be their first tonight.
Right, there you go. Shem has put in here that that Southend are currently losing at the moment. So there you go. There you go. Tell you what, let's get some scores from around the ground at the moment. So, if I share my screen with everybody, and we'll bring some scores up as things stand. So, at the moment, we have got Bolton and Cambridge and 0-0, as are Carlisle and Grimsby. Crawley as well with Salford. So we've got 1-0 to Forest Green against Morecambe. Obviously, we know the Harrogate game is the one that we're watching. A load of 0-0s all in the middle of this, middle of these tables. Then we've got Exeter 1, Scunthorpe 0, and then, as I said, the bottom result, Southend 0, Tranmere 1. So at the moment, the current league table, not really an awful lot's changed at this point. It is what it is, more or less exactly the same. Both Colchester and Southend are losing at the moment. Not going amazingly well. Would you? Right. I mean, what were your kind of expectations going into tonight?
Sorry, James, I can't hear you. Like you've all crackled up.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it might be because I'm sharing my screen here. So, what were your expectations going into tonight's game? Did you kind of were you expecting much from tonight's game?
I predicted 1-0 Harrogate, so I'm kind of hoping that it
is. Because they've actually done quite well this season, haven't they? They're like most people didn't exactly expect them to do amazingly well, but they've actually handled themselves quite well in this league.
Yeah, and when we played them early doors at home, we beat them, but they absolutely battered us.
Like, classic smash and grab.
Yeah, we had a proper smash and grab that day.
Malachi Shaw says we are going down, and I believe that is a Colchester, Colchester top in the avatar there. Do you, like I said, going back to it earlier on, are you worried at this point or not? Because I mean, it's been alarming form, but
yeah, you've got to be worried purely because of the form and where we are in the league. But I've got every confidence that we will get out of it. Nearly got an equaliser there. But yeah, no, I'm confident we'll get out of it. We've got Pelly coming back in. He's a midfield destructor. We've got Lapsley hopefully coming back in. He's another forward in our midfield, and Ben Stevenson. Well, so they're three key players that are out at the moment. Pelly's on the bench tonight. And if we can find, obviously, if we get Noobs back from his suspension tonight, and then we do force the two up front, then I think we've got a really good chance. But it's just Brown. Oh, good shot.
I've just seen the effort there for Colchester. Just went wide on the edge of the area. Takes a couple of touches, gets himself away, and it just went just wide. Very good opportunity there for Colchester.
George, our goalkeeper's just been kicked in the face.
Lovely. Oh dear, mate. So, as I said, it's not gone amazingly well in his opening first few minutes for Colchester, but there's been the first major opportunity of the game, which is good to see. So I think I'm now about to see what you're about to see. He's gone out to collect the ball. Oh, that looks nasty. Keeper done extremely well there to come out and claim the ball. Went in fully committed towards him. He's got an almighty whack to the head there. The Harrogate player is down as well, actually, claiming that he's hurt his knee, which is interesting. I need to see a replay of this. Here we go. So a nice free ball through to him. Yeah, you see his knee collided right into him as well. So that could be a genuine injury for both players there.
They're both up.
Right.
So
but that's good. That's good to see. That's good to see.
Well, yeah, but I think Sham's hurt his shoulder a lot by the looks of it. He's struggling with it.
So whilst we've got a bit of a break in play here, Tommy Smith, talk to me about him so far this season, because before a ball was kicked, there was very strong rumours linking him going back to Ipswich Town. So, playing at a higher level of the game than what Colchester are at. How has he been this season? What's he been like? Has he still got it? Could he play in League One if he wanted to?
I've been underwhelmed by him.
Really? That's interesting.
I like Tommy Smith. I like Smudge a lot. Don't get me wrong, but I've been underwhelmed by him. I don't know what it is. Just he's very experienced. You can see that in his game, and he's got a lovely left peg on him. But I don't know. I would always say that Smudge would be better than Prosser, but Pross was performed better last year. We performed better with Prosser in it. I don't know if it's because Prosser was just a better communicator. I'm not sure what it is behind it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Smudge, but have been underwhelmed by him.
Right, there you go. Shem has asked, who is your all-time favourite Colchester player?
You've had him on.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
JC, Jamie Curitan. And then obviously growing up probably was Dean Gherkin. And now I'm friends with him, so it's kind of like difficult to say that he's my favourite. But yeah, it's probably JC.
He's a hell of a player, weren't he, Jamie Curitan, throughout his time. And obviously you must have listened to the podcast that we've done with him, and he talking about that he's actually more of a professional now than he ever was when he was a younger player. And you just think if it had that level of professionalism back then, what a talent he could have been. And that's no disrespect to him, because he's achieved unbelievable accolades in the game. But even he himself admits that he lacked that drive to go up to the very top. He kind of took things for granted, didn't he?
Yeah, of course. And I think another player that I suppose reminds me a little bit of JC in the fact that they're more professional in their later career is Ian Henderson.
Yes.
With
Yeah.
you guys. And if he'd have put in the application and the professionalism that he is now with Salford and when he was at Rochdale, he probably would have played in the Prem and played a lot of games in the Prem because he's unbelievable. Like he's just getting better age.
I used to really like Ian Henderson when he was at Norwich, or on the edge of the area, just wide by Colchester. Opportunities are now starting to come. They're starting to make a few chances happen there. Granted, all the shots are coming from the edge of the area, but there's a bit of space developing. The kind of gap between the Harrogate midfield and the defence is kind of stretching a bit, and Harriet in particular in the middle is picking up a lot of space and it's starting to make things happen now. So I said from a coach's perspective, very encouraging.
Get the box, get Harriet in the edge of the box. He's pretty fierce.
Well, I think I saw it on the weekend with his goals. He scored a couple of goals on the weekend, didn't he? Yeah. So there you go. Shem has put, what about Kinsella?
What is Gaffer?
No. It's in like all-time favourite player, I'm guessing. Does he rank up there?
I mean, I never watched Kinsella really. Like, I was too young, so to really remember. So I couldn't put Kinsella in it, I'm afraid.
Yeah. I have to ask, what was it like watching that partnership between Kiritin and Chris Olomu? Because the goals that you guys scored at that level was just
little and large.
Yeah.
Proper traditional little and large partnership. Yeah, unbelievable. We were so much of that year. And that year in the championship was fantastic. I don't think as a Colchester fan, I don't think we'll replicate that for ever.
I was just going to ask, do you think you will ever get back to that level, and how long do you think it will take? Because it's a completely different landscape of football now, back to even what it was 10 years ago.
But yeah, exactly. Like the game's evolved so much, and the clubs are so different now. Even in the decade, 15 years that we've been apart. But honestly, that year was fantastic, and I'd love to get back there. But is it realistic at the club our size? Probably not.
Right, there we go. I think getting back to League One would be something at this point, wouldn't
it? Yeah, exactly.
James has said on here, come on Colchester, let's get a win tonight. Like I said, the opening, I mean, I'm 24 minutes into the game now on my time. Obviously, I know you're a little bit ahead of me, Joel. But Harrogate obviously had their opportunity in the first minute and they've taken it. Not really done a huge amount since then to kind of build on their lead. And Colchester have had quite a few opportunities now. They're getting some shots in from the edge of the box. They're starting to make some stuff happen. And it's not been the worst 25 minutes. It's just that little lapse of concentration right at the very beginning has kind of cost them, because otherwise it's not really been a massive amount in this game. You can't say that Harrogate are dominating, and you can't say that Colchester are hanging on for their lives. It's been very even.
That will absolutely frustrate Brownie no end, because he will have had his teams as being a centre half and being a centre half that played under Parky in the year that we got promoted. With I can understand, I can see what sort of teams it's going to be. It's going to be organised, hard to beat, and that will blow his mind that we let them do that so early on in the game.
Yeah,
turned off so early.
Yeah, that's it. I just want to have a look at your bench a little bit. Who on there can come on and change the game from your bench at the moment? So you've got. Sorry, who? Sorry.
Who have we got on the bench? Giovanni Brown will definitely on.
Yeah, Cohen Hall, is that? That's not the guy who used to play for Wickham, is it?
Yeah, Paris Cohen Hall. He's to be fair, like. He's been vanished since he signed for us. I think he's played about 3 times.
Really? Why? He was such a talent.
Yeah, he is. But he's so injury prone. He just had a horrid time.
Right. So free kick for Colchester. Oh, into the box and a bit of a miscontrol there, and Harrogate clear. See again, I think Colchester can get themselves a goal in the next few minutes. The pressure, I think the pressure's starting to mount a little bit.
Yeah, so who have we got on the bench? We've got Coulter, Welsh Hayes, Doherty, Pelly, Brown, Cowan Hall, and Poku. Poku, when he first came on the scene, absolutely unbelievable. I think we got him from Dorking.
Right.
And unbelievable talent. Like, absolutely unbelievable. Put him on a straight as soon as he got a few games under his belt, and he was finding the step quite easy, I felt. They put him on a contract. This year he's been a little bit quieter. I think he's needed rest out of the team. I think he has needed this time out of the team for him to come back refreshed. But he's played a lot of games, and I don't know, like he on his day can be absolutely magical, but we haven't seen the best of him this year.
Right.
And then obviously you got Giovanni Brown as well, who's our top scorer, and he's sitting on the bench.
Any particular reason why he's sitting on the bench? He's not come back from an injury or anything, has he?
No, just falling out. I suppose he's fallen out of form, but he's not. He's usually a number 10, and they've been playing as a number 9 this season. And
right.
He'd suit in a 2, as a 9 in a 2, but he plays up as a 9 on his own, and he's a bit isolated. He's not the biggest of lads, but he's got a good left foot on him. He's quite composed in front of goal, but yeah, he's just struggling to get in the team at the moment by the looks of it.
Right, there you go. So I suppose I should really do a little bit of commentary on this game, shouldn't I? Just to kind of keep people in the loop about what's actually going on. So at the moment, as I said, I am now on 28 minutes exactly. The ball is at the Harrogate goalkeeper. Has just played a long ball up top. It's headed clear by Colchester, and they pick it up in the middle. It's a lot of back and forth here between Harrogate and Colchester. And they've got a little bit of space on the right-hand side here, trying to make something happen, Harrogate. Passing it around quite nicely on the right-hand side, but not really going anywhere with it. Ball into the box, but it's a good interception by Colchester. Well read there. And they've got the ball free on the left-hand side now. Ball comes into the box. Bit of a heavy touch there. And they deal with it, but the ball comes back in again. Colchester have got it. See, again, Harrogate are not really playing it.
They're getting to a certain point, aren't they? And then they're not really doing anything with it.
Yeah. There's a few heavy touches coming in there as well, and I'm surprised no one's kind of pounced on those from time to time from Colchester's perspective. But I said, like you just said, they get into a certain point, they kind of get into the edge of the area, and then
running out.
The pass is just they're not coming off, and they don't really know what to kind of do with it, which is very strange, very very strange. So how are you finding things without football then? At the moment, obviously from your own perspective.
Again, sorry.
I was just saying, how are you finding things without football at the moment for your own personal enjoyment, especially from a Coddenham perspective? How are things without it?
Difficult. Missing it like mad. It's just keeping all the boys sort of interlocked. We've set up a Strava group chat. A Strava chat, sorry. That means that we're trying to do as many kilometres per week as possible, and there's a little competition within the group to try and get as many as they can. They've been set targets, so when they come back, they're not unfit as such. Everybody's getting out and having a couple of runs a week, or getting out on their bikes and everything. So hopefully, when we are back, we can hit the ground running. And I know it's only going to be friendlies, but the county cup hopefully will continue, and they've got a real chance of hopefully getting to Portman Road with that, and that's the ambition.
Well, that was one of the things I actually had posted into the group chat very early on. Shem put in here, evening all, Suffolk FA want the county cups to continue. That is what we've actually, I think I saw a tweet earlier on actually. saying that they are going to be continuing them, and they're having discussions with Ipswich about using Portman Road. So I suppose for you guys, that's the real aim now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the motivation that all the guys need to keep fit.
Yeah, exactly, and it's massive. Like for clubs like our side and like any club in Suffolk, if they've got a chance of getting the Portman Road final, then that's gonna be a massive motive. Even if you don't support them, like just playing in that magnitude.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even somebody like myself, I'd love to be able to say that I've played. I've played on there. Shem looks like County Cups are going ahead, but he would prefer SIL Div 1 to continue. I think the problem, obviously, I think we talked about it last night on the show that I had heard a rumor that they were trying to use some sort of. They wanted to try and extend the season into June. That was one of the options being discussed. I just don't know how realistically you can do that.
The SIL gave clubs the option to opt in or opt out of fixtures and stuff, and there was 5 clubs from Division 1 that opted in. So,
right,
you don't think you're going to get a league out of it.
Right, and there you go. There you go. Happy days. Ipswich are losing 1-0. There we go. There's the silver lining. I've just checked. Yep, Lincoln 1-0. Rogers has scored for Lincoln. Happy days. There we go. They can change it. They can change their manager, but some things just don't change.
No, of course not. Rotten within.
See, this is what happens when you appoint ex Norwich players as your managers. It just continues to happen. You thought they would have learned from Lambert, but never mind. Never mind.
The best thing was when they signed Matheson as well, and it was like, yeah, I'm a Norwich fan, but
he's only played one game, hasn't he? He's not even had a look in. He should be arguably one of their first names on the team sheet, and he's just not getting a look in at all. Shem, keep those updates coming in, mate. We really appreciate all of the scores that you're bringing in, because we're obviously trying to keep a focus on this game, and kind of talk about it and just give our reactions to it. But yeah, if you can keep those scores coming in, mate, that'd be much appreciated. Just to kind of keep us in the loop. But 33 minutes and 28 seconds on my watch. Again, a bit of back and forth. Between the two teams. There's not, again, I've said it earlier about 10 minutes into the show, not really a massive amount in this game between the two teams. I don't think either team's dominated the other. Harrogate have had a couple of half chances apart from their goal. Colchester have had quite a few long range efforts that have gone just wide of the goal. But neither team's really stamping any sort of authority on the game, keeping hold of the ball for too long. It's very much back and forth. So, you've got 10 minutes plus to go before the end of the half. It'll be interesting to see who kind of finishes the stronger, really, out of the two teams. Dan Barnard, Joel, I feel sorry. I feel for you being a Colchester fan. Keep supporting Card Army, mate. At least you'll see wins.
But
it's only been this season. Let's be honest. It's only been this season where things have started to go a little bit pear-shaped for Colchester. So, I mean, it might sound a bit of a daft question considering where the ground is now and the number of fans that do go to the games. But do you think any of that's having an impact on the players? The fact that there is no support there? Because it does seem that some clubs, you obviously see with Liverpool, a much higher level of football, but they are struggling without their home support. Let's be honest, aren't they? Amongst the injuries and everything else.
Yeah, I was speaking to Dean not so long ago, and he said that it's hard playing with no crowd, even if he misses even getting abused. Like, he'd prefer to be abused for 90 minutes by someone than playing in a silent stadium. So, yeah, I think it is making a massive impact, the fact that there's no fans in the stadium.
Yeah, Definitely. Mark Morris, really good stream, lads. Much better than the actual game itself. I've myself not bought a pass for ages because we are so poor. It's really frustrating to watch. Well, absolutely, massively appreciate you getting involved tonight, Mark, and thank you very much for coming on and tuning into the stream. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm guessing you pay. You've got a pass for every single game. Have you been watching every one of Colchester's matches this season?
Yeah, Dad's season ticket holder. So with the season ticket, he gets his home passes free, and then we'll just pay for the away games and stuff. But yeah,
Mark has asked on here, who is our current worst player, Joel?
Omar.
Omar. There you go. Didn't even need any convincing trying to identify that one. Mark, I'd love to know what do you kind of put it down to, Mark? Get involved in the comments and let us know what the hell has happened this season. We've tried to break it down, and Joel's done his very best to kind of explain what's going on in the club. I'd love to hear from you, mate. Get involved in the comment section about what you feel has happened on there. Is that Weradu been one of our players?
Best or worst, does he mean?
Right, yeah. Let us know.
I mean, he has been good since he's come in, to be fair, Bren.
Best, he's saying. There you
go. Yeah, Bren's been good since he's come in. But he is like, I just think our midfield is missing Pelly at the moment because we're missing that big man in there. And both midfielders at the moment are a little bit lightwait. I think we're getting a little bit dominated in there at times.
So what's happened to? What's happened to Lapsley this season? Because again, from the outside looking in, he's always been one of those players I've kind of admired from afar. What's been going on with him this year?
Picking up little niggles.
Right.
I think during injury first up, when he came back, he then tweaked it again. And I think there's a knee injury, a thigh injury, and it just keeps breaking down. So it's frustrating because Laps is a good player.
Yeah, Shem has said if Colchester score, I'm guessing he put I'll buy Joel a beer at Wickham next season. There you go. Even more incentive for Colchester to score.
Happy day.
So 38 minutes on the clock. From my angle and what I can see, Harrogate have now got a free kick about maybe 10, 15 yards outside of the box. You've probably already seen this free kick, so you probably know what happens. It's just happened. So referee rather is lining up the wall. It's a good opportunity for Harrogate to try and make something happen here, from what I can see. Is it going to be the right or the left foot? Or I would imagine it'll probably be the right foot that's going to put the ball into the box. Oh, try to jump everyone off. Floated in, all over the top. There are appeals for a penalty, but the referee's not having any of it, and he points directly to a goal kick. For me, that's a wrong choice of free kick. You don't float in a free kick like that when you're in that position. You whip it in with a bit of curl, try and get somebody to knock on a header and just make something happen from that. But that was really poor. really poor free kick. Yeah, just wrong choice. Absolutely wrong choice. Nothing in those penalty shouts, by the way. I'm not just saying that because I'm sat here with a Colchester fan, but absolutely nothing in those penalty shouts. He just kind of fell over. There was nothing to it. Big appeal from the Harrogate players, but nah, not for me. Not for me. So
I'm sure Victor would have had a look at it though.
So the camera just panned in there to Brown on the sidelines, not looking particularly pleased. We had a question coming in here from Mark. He said, I don't know why I asked Joel that question. For me, the players have to take a massive blame for this. You've also got to ask, was JM doing a good job to get a lot out of these players? Obviously, I'm guessing he's referring to John McGreal there.
Yeah.
Is the John McGreal situation similar to the Mick McCarthy situation at Ipswich,
Possibly.
in that you don't realise what he's getting out of this group of players until he departs, and then you truly see what this squad is capable of. I mean, was he right? Bit both.
The fact that we lost the core, losing Theo Robinson as well back to his loan, back to Southend. He then released and we went to Port Vale. We didn't make him permanent. That was a big miss. That's a big miss this season. We don't have that outlet. We didn't have noobs for the first half of the season, and I think the squad is a lot weaker than it was last year.
Yeah. Mark has put on here, we get the basics wrong week in, week out. We can't pass 6 yards and there's not much movement at all. Everything is slow and poor. Do you agree with the slowness of the side? Is there much of a tempo to this season?
Yeah, Mark's right. We are when especially under Steve Ball, we very much tried to play from the back and we'd try and play through teams to move them about, but we were too slow by doing it, and it just we never really hurt anyone. It's difficult. Like 6-yard passes on pitches in League Two, it's going to be difficult because all the pitches are awful.
Yeah.
So the most effective pitch in League Two and League One are teams that play route one, hit a target man, and then play in and around the box. But
yeah, that's the thing. You look at the pitch that we're playing on tonight. It's not the best throughout the middle of the entirety of it. Whether or not you go from one goal to the other, the whole middle part of the pitch is kind of worn up and very bumpy. It's not a great surface to kind of play on.
No.
But you saw from Wickham last season, they didn't play the most attractive of football, but it works. It gets results, and they managed to get themselves out of that league. And it doesn't have to necessarily be the prettiest on the eye. What you've got to do is utilize the talent that you have. And if again, I hate to refer back to Ipswich, but Lambert was trying to get them to play a passing style of football, and it didn't work because the caliber of players that they've got in the team, they're just not set up for that. And you play to your strengths. So your strengths, I would say, is, Harriet is one of the most talented players in that league. You've got to try and work out a system to maybe get him involved. There's other players in amongst your team that attacking wise are quick and dynamic. You've got to get those guys involved and try and make something happen. I don't know, just you have to play to your strengths rather than what you want as a philosophy.
Are a perfect side of playing to your strengths. They have 2 big lads at centre half. They have 2 big lads up front, and they hoof the ball long. They are very, very direct. They hit the ball long into the 2 boys up front, and then they play off the knock-ons. And Wesley Houlihan, what Wes is like, absolutely unreal, and he'll just perfect in and around that box. He just creates things, little dinks and everything about him, and they feed off scraps. And honestly, it works for them, and they've been really effective this year.
Yeah, that's there. Mark has put, we have now seen 2 managers since, and none of them have reached those standard things. Haven't been this bad in a long time. It's really sad to see us not even being able to knock the ball about, or even playing it long to a big man like Frank Noble. That's.
I think if we give Brown his time, a bit of time. Oh no.
Oh God, I don't want. I'm about just so everyone's aware. I'm about 30 seconds behind Joel. I know what is coming up, but I'm going to get to describe what is happening here.
It's shambolic.
So what I can see, we're now on the 45th minute mark. There's a free kick on the halfway line. They've put up for 2 minutes of injury time. Just shut up shop. Don't do anything stupid. It's a free kick into the box. It's headed clear. Long ball up. Oh, that's terrible. He's completely miskicked it through 1-on-1 and coolly slots past the goalkeeper. Again, the 2 goals have come from your defence. It's not anything that Harrogate are actually doing. they're not carving you open and creating chance after chance. The two chances have come because of defensive mistakes. That was a complete miss hit, a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
And you find yourself 2-0 down. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Joel.
And then appealing for an offside.
Joel, man. Joel, I just... terrible. Honestly, terrible.
Don't look like I'm getting that beer off Shem, does it?
No, it bloody doesn't. Oh, dear me. Not good. Not good at all. Smith. There you go. Just found out who scored that goal. Smith, 45 plus 1. Just at a time where, as I said, all you need to do is just concentrate, think, and just try not to do anything stupid. Just keep it to 1-0 at halftime because, as I said, 1-0 going into the halfway point, they're not dominating you. They're not creating a shed load of chances. There's plenty of scope in this game to try and change things around and make something happen. But now, going 2-0 in a half time, I mean, just changes everything, doesn't it? For you as a manager who has to deal with this on a week in, week out basis, how frustrated would you be right now if you were the manager going into that dressing room?
I'd need 5 minutes. No, like, it's frustrating because they've come at awful times because, like, Brownie will be so frustrated with it because he'll want, like you said, like, setting up early doors. He'd have been planning that all week and he'd been going on about be strong, make them hard, make it hard to beat. And we've gone and given them a goal first minute. And then he'd have been screaming at them and telling them, just shut up shop, we'll take the 1-0 at half time. And they've gone and done that. And it's just frustrating, mate. And the thing is, just got a text from Dino going, what the hell is going on here?
The thing is, it's the timing of both goals as well, isn't it? It's within 30 seconds and it's with a minute to go of the half.
Yeah.
Either end of the half, nothing else in the middle is happening to worry you, but 2 lapses of concentration at either end of the half, and you're 2-0 down. It's just...
yeah.
I don't know. Is this the kind of thing that's been happening a lot this season?
We concede at stupid times, yeah. A lot of the time. Morecambe, for example, away, we for 45 minutes were the better side there. And they scored literally on the last kick of the half. And we went 1-0 down at half time. And you're thinking we've just battered them. And we've ended up losing them 3-0. And it's like, okay, but that's the confidence within the setup by the looks of it. Is they're not confident in their own ability. They've got nothing to give. It's as simple as that.
So Dan Barnard, chance of Harrogate scoring 1 minute into the second half and the 90th minute. That's how you kill a game off. First and 45. Shem has then put, James, you should work on Gillette Special. They literally just said the same thing. Well, it's good to know that there's, like I said, there's no bias. I say things how I see things, and despite it getting me into a little bit of trouble with a certain club down the A14, it is what it is. Like I said, that's just how I see things. But I appreciate that, Shem. It's a lovely compliment. Lovely compliment to take. Let's get some of the halftime scores up on the screen just so we can show you guys what else is happening around League Two at the moment. So here are the scores on the doors at the moment. So Cambridge, bloody hell, we're losing 2-0 away from home against Bolton, although Bolton are in very, very good form at the moment in this division. It's Carlisle 0, Grimsby 1. which I think, if I remember correctly, Grimsby, bottom of the table, are winning at the moment against Carlisle. Wow, that's a massive, massive result at half-time. Crawley 1, Salford 0, Forest Green and Morecambe is 1-1. Obviously, we know the Harrogate game is the one we're watching. Leyton Orient, Stevenage is 0-0, as is Manfield, Cheltenham, Newport and Bradford are 0-0. Port Vale and Oldham are 0-0. Southend at the bottom there, losing 2-0 to Tranmere, which will make Joel a little bit happier, but not much happier. And Scunthorpe are losing 1-0 to Exeter. So if we look at the current league table as a result, let's click on the game. It then gives you the most up-to-date league table here on the left-hand side. So as things stand, Grimsby are now up to 27 points. You'll then see Southend and Barrow on 29 apiece, but Barrow have got 3 games in hand on Southend now, so it's starting to look a little bit worrying for the boys in blue. We've then got Port Vale on 35, Colchester on 36, and then a whole host of teams up above them that are not separated by a massive amount. Mansfield, Scunthorpe, Oldham, and then Stevenage in 15th place. Oof, that Grimsby result.
We've got Saturday.
Oh, Jesus. James, you'll probably want to make that the scorer font a bit smaller to fit them all on. That's harsh. That is To be honest, as I said just a moment ago, it's not been that type of game. It just simply hasn't been that game. Like, as I said, there's a lapse of concentration 1 minute in. There's then a couple of half chances for Harrogate, but nothing alarming. Colchester have had 2 good opportunities on the edge of the box. They've just gone just wide. It's been a bit scrappy, bit back and forth. Not really a massive amount in it. And then, as I said, just keep it 1-0. Just keep it 1-0 at halftime. Sort yourselves out at halftime and regroup and go again. Next thing you know, free kick doesn't get dealt with. It's cleared. It's then put back in. It's cleared. Put back in. An air kick. And he's through 1-on-1. He's got all the time in the world to coolly put the ball wherever he wants. And there we go. 2-0. What do you do from here? If you're the manager right now, what change do you make? Any changes? Do you try and switch things up a little bit? What do you do to get yourselves back into this game?
I think what's the goal difference looking like for us at the moment?
Sorry?
I said, what's our goal difference looking like at the moment?
So you're on -14 at the moment.
And what are Southend?
Southend are -28.
Yeah, I'd throw the kitchen sink at the second half then.
Right. I've had Freddie Freddie's put on here saying this game is worse than the time Joel ran over my foot. What's that about?
We went to Crewe last year on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and Fred, when we finished the game, Fred went for a wee. He was last in the car, and as he was getting in the car, I rolled the car forward and ran his foot over.
Brilliant. They're bringing up the halftime stats up on the screen here.
Yeah.
So Harrogate have had 57% possession, whereas obviously so ever so slightly more than Colchester. Passing accuracy has been slightly better by Harrogate. Attacking third percentage, that's probably the most alarming of the stats that I can see on here. Is a 60% for Harrogate, but only 29% for Colchester. Tackles won, Harrogate have got 100%. Few more blocks coming in for Colchester. Like I said, for me, I don't tend to read a massive amount into the stats and what goes into it. As I said, I kind of judge things on what I see. And for me, there's not been a massive amount in this game. I want to see Colchester come at it in the second half. You're 2-0 down. You've got absolutely nothing to lose now. Just absolutely go for it. Try and make something happen. Go a bit more direct. Try and get the ball forward a bit quicker. Don't pass it amongst the back three. Just try and get it into those positions and try and get a few knockdowns, try and make their defenders think a little bit. Just try and switch things up and make something happen in the second half and just test the goalkeeper a little bit more. Because again, for the opportunities that Colchester have had, I don't really remember the keeper having to make a save. So that's what I want to see in the second half. I want to see a bit more intensity.
Shots on target. We haven't had a shot on target apparently. So
well, there you go then. There you go. I want to see a bit more from Colchester this half. It's not, they haven't been terrible. Well, I don't think they've been terrible. They've just switched off at the vital moments. That's probably the way I assess it. From your perspective, Joel, what do you want to see? What do you think?
It's just the same as every other week.
Christ, that doesn't bode well. I'm just going to tweet out halftime 2-0 to Harrogate. Come along and watch Joel melt. Joel, have a meltdown. Brilliant. I suppose you're probably used to it at this point, though, aren't you?
Yeah, which is sad, really.
It is, because, yeah, just that's the thing. I'm living in a different reality to what you are with my team. It's weird the differences.
You'll be having a meltdown next year.
Yeah, exactly. Did I don't know if you saw my tweet a few months ago where I celebrated a Norwich win, and the missus turned around to me instantly and she just looked me dead in the eye. She went, "Why are you celebrating? You'll get relegated next year. It doesn't matter."
I remember saying that.
And I was just like, right, okay, well, that's just killed the mood. But yeah, no, you are dead right. We're too good for the Championship. We're just not good enough for the Premier League, and it's as simple as that. Yeah. We are just going to constantly go between the two divisions, but we're not here to talk about Norwich. Marcus, but for me, we miss Prosser so much. He was a leader and an influence on our team. You talked about it earlier on, didn't you? He is, from all accounts, I think Colchester fans are all saying the same thing. He's a massive miss. Where did he go? He's not injured or anything. He actually left the club, didn't he? Sorry? Stevenage. Really?
Stevenage.
Of all teams, really?
Yeah. Yeah, local, isn't it? Because we couldn't offer him a contract because of COVID. Robbie couldn't offer the senior pros that were out of contract
of course, yeah, I remember now.
Somewhere and move. But I'd have him back upbeat.
Oh god, yeah, god, yeah. But it's, like I said, even Mark's agreeing by the sounds of things, he was an absolute colossal leader there. So far, the guys that my screen is still showing me the halftime stats, so I don't think the players are out on my end. They probably are your end. No, yeah, I was going to say you're about 2 minutes ahead of me, so let's see. You'll probably see it. You will see a goal 1 miles before I do. I'll tell you what. Let's bring up some other scores throughout the leagues as well. We've talked about League 2 in a little bit of detail here. So let's bring up some other scores. See if we can try and find out what's going on in some of the other leagues, because not a huge amount's going on in the Championship this evening, but there is quite a few games going on in League One. So Wimbledon are 0-0 with Burton. Bristol Rovers are 2-0 up against Accrington Stanley. Jesus, nobody wants that final playoff spot, do they? No. Charlton 0-0 against Northampton. Crewe are 0-0 against Doncaster. Ipswich are still losing 1-0 against Lincoln. MK Dons are losing 1-0 against Blackpool. Peterborough and Hull are drawing 1-1. That sounds like a good game. Plymouth 0, Wigan 2. So Wigan are starting to find a little bit of form at the right time. Sorry? Sorry, did you say who?
Right, can you see?
Let's have a look. Brown.
Not Schmudson.
No. although he is playing, but Peterborough down to 10 men on there, so we'll see how they go on in the second half. Rochdale 0-0 with Shrewsbury, Swindon 0, Oxford 1, Fleetwood 1, Gillingham 0, and Portsmouth and Sunderland are currently playing out a 0-0 draw. So as things stand, league table-wise, this is where it leaves Ipswich. They will be 3 points off the playoffs still, with a game in hand.
How still in and around it?
I don't know. Really don't know. Irv is in the building. Evening, mate. Hope you're doing all right. How are you? How are things, Irv? I hope you're okay. Swansea dropped points, did they? I've been so busy since I got home. I hadn't even checked. Oh, let me please say they messed up. Oh, they drew 1-1 with Blackburn. Get in. I can taste the Premier League. So good. Dan Barnard. Sunderland have just scored. There you go. Somebody wants that final playoff spot. So again, Colchester and Harrogate are still yet to come out for the second half on my screen. Although, something, there we go. Colchester players are back out. Hopefully the second half will start kicking off in a few moments.
Harry Pell's come on.
So you have made some substitutions, have you?
Yeah. Pell's come on. I think we've gone to probably a 4-3-3 again.
4-3-3. So ditching the three at the back then. Have a look at the Twitter timeline.
I would say so, yeah. I don't know who he's taken off, though. I hope he's taken Omar off, but
he has taken Omar off. He has.
Yeah.
So Harry Pell is on and Omar is off. Happy with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, I've gone onto Twitter and I've looked at the substitution that's taken place, and the first comment that's underneath there is, "Leave him at Harrogate, don't let him come home."
Who said that?
Somebody called Brad Morris. That's not your brother, Mark, is it?
Okay.
It's got a few likes on there, to be fair. So it seems to be quite a popular opinion.
Right.
So yeah, leave him at Harrogate, don't let him come home. We should have never let him start. Oh no, what a shame. Leave him there. That's a rare W for Colchester, as somebody else has put. He's getting absolutely barraged of abuse. Jesus Christ. But as you said, changing up to a 4-3-3. Hopefully, ball. So on the left-hand side here, I'm going to commentate this. The ball whipped into the box and it's cleared by Harrogate, and it goes out for a corner kick. So I'm now about to commentate on the action that Joel's already seen. Oh, dear me. This is the problem with being 30 seconds behind, and unfortunately, the other link I tried was a minute behind, so that was even worse. So corner kick for Colchester now. And there's going to be Harriet who takes the corner. Ball comes in. What? Pinball action on the line. What the hell? That was Tommy Smith who was there. And it looks as if has it been blown for a foul or a free kick or something? What the hell happened there? So Harriet with the ball in from the corner. It looks like, is that a handball? Is that what they've given it for? Or has it just gone out for a goal kick? I'm not even sure.
I think he's just given a goal kick.
Wow, unbelievable. Mark said, as far as I'm aware, I don't have a brother called Brad, but more of a chance of that than us winning. Absolutely brilliant. I have had a message.
Unusual.
I have had a message come through on Twitter asking me where the hell is Adam. Basically, Adam is a little bit busy tonight. He said he's hopeful that he can join us for the second half coverage, but I'm not pinning my hopes on it, if I'm being honest. He's got a lot going on at home at the moment that he needs to kind of sort out, and obviously family life takes far more priority presence over than what, sitting with me and doing a watch along anyway. So if Adam does tune in, you guys will be the first ones to see him up on the screen here. So, evening, gents. Watching Soccer Saturday. Done my Super 6 for tonight. Put them all down as nils with the intention of changing them later and forgot. Brilliant. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. So, when you say you've done my Super 6, do you mean Sky's or do you mean our Super 6 for the Suffolk Non-League show? Because you've got to get involved, Irv. You've been doing quite well in the past few weeks. You need to keep that momentum going, my friend. You need to keep that going. So a couple of minutes into this half, and it's kind of what you would expect. It's Colchester that are ones that are trying to make something happen at the start of this half. Harrogate are probably going to do what you would thought, probably just try and sit back, soak up the pressure, maybe try and counter-attack. But as I said, it's Colchester that are the ones that are kind of forcing the intensity in this game, which is good. This is exactly what we wanted, you know.
Yeah.
You have your setbacks, you make it, you have a reaction, and you try and sort things out. Irv, Sky games tonight, done that Saturday as well. Love it. Absolutely love it, Irv. Good man. Good man. So positive start in the second half. Are you pleased with that?
Yeah, first couple of minutes, especially, like we got on the front foot, which is brilliant. So just keep going. It's just whether or not we can keep the pace of that up. If we can, then I think Harrogate might be in a little bit of trouble. But who knows? It's football. Funny old game.
So talk to me about Harry Pell. Talk to me about him. Obviously, he was somebody that a few years ago. Sorry.
Not the greatest of footballers, but wears his heart on his sleeve and is a tough tackling player in the centre of midfield that gets the job done, I suppose, in League Two. Right,
because he was someone who was highly kind of touted at Cheltenham, wasn't he? Back in the day when he was a youngster coming up through. Back then, I was kind of surprised he didn't get a move higher up the divisions, and you guys kind of managed to snap him up. What has he been like for you? Has he kind of lived up to that expectations, do you think?
He's had a couple of big injuries.
There seems to be a bit of a running theme here with the club. Every time I go to ask you about a player, you keep saying there's been an injury, there's been an injury, there's been an injury.
Yeah. We don't have, by the sound of it, we don't have very good physios, do we?
Dan has said, I heard Omar's got a trial at Codnam at the end of the month.
Not going anywhere near my team, mate. I said, if you read back on my Twitter from a few months ago, I said I honestly don't think Omar are getting many SIL teams.
Jesus, that bad. Marcus, but Joel, do you feel confident we can score, or are we going to push for it and Harrogate feel comfortable keeping us at bay?
I think we will. I think we will score tonight. Just I don't know if we've got two in our locker.
Right.
And if we've got enough to keep them out.
So 50 minutes and 45 seconds, my end has gone in this game. So there's a long ball up the field for Colchester. Harrogate trying to deal with it. Oh, goalkeeper, Jesus Christ, comes out and deals with it. That's a bit unnerving from a Harrogate perspective, but the keeper sorts himself out. And it's now on the edge of the area. Oh, good tackle. Really important tackle there. That was Tommy Smith, wasn't he, who got that interception in there? Because I think maybe another touch and he could have been right through on goal.
Good save, Jab.
Oh, I was going to say, Joel, head in hands. I was worried there for a moment. Really worried there for a second. So there's just shown a replay. They're just showing a replay of Tommy Smith's interception. So it's Harrogate's throw on the right-hand side. They're about 10 yards inside their own area, or own half, rather. Throw in comes. Down the line. It's flicked on. And another flick onto the edge of the area. Ball right through to the middle. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Oh, defender tries to dive. Oh, good save by the goalkeeper. Heroic defending by Colchester and then into the hands of the keeper. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. What defending that was. I'd love to know who that was making those sliding challenges. That was absolutely heroic. So the ball came in from a throw in. A couple of flick-ons there. There's a couple of flick-ons, and then the ball played right across the box. On the edge of the box. Takes a touch, and the goalkeeper comes out, spreads himself, makes himself big, and makes an absolutely massive save. And then some heroic defending kind of comes in and saves the day for Colchester. But that's the danger. That's the danger in this half, is that could quite easily happen. As Harrogate comfortably pick up the ball in their own half and the referees allowing play on. So a bit of a warning there that you can come forward. You can that's it. Marcus said, Joel, if we score, I'll get you a pint when I next see you.
Cheers, mate.
You're gonna be absolutely wasted if Colchester score at this rate. You're getting drinks bought for your left, right, and centre.
Happy days, isn't it?
Why do I never get this when I go on shows? Never mind.
Well, when you turn up the cod, I'll get you a coffee.
Yes, love that. I'll tell you what, you joke about that, but my missus always talks about that. Always talks about the lady. I can't remember the lady's name who came over and offered us a tea and a coffee. She is it your mum?
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, my wife always talks about that. She said it's one of her favourite places because of how nice everybody was. And that offer, just of a simple tea or a coffee offer, made her feel amazing. So she loves you lot.
Happy days. Welcome back.
So Mark's put what was it? Basically, he's not getting a pint. It's the long and short of it. Irv has said, are Colchester getting dragged into a relegation battle? Well, to be honest with you, Irv, if you look at the league table, and I'll bring it up for you now up on the screen, just so you guys can see this. Bear with me, mate. Bear with me. Share screen.
Just ask Shem.
So if I show you, Irv, this is the current league table as things stand. So at the moment, Colchester are 7 points clear of the relegation zone.
And on that note, James, I am signing out. Goodbye.
Oh, God, something else has happened. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, here we go. Let's drop the share screen. So ball on the edge of the area for Harrogate. He's through. Oh, what's that? Oh, Jesus Christ. That's terrible defending, and that's game, set, and match, I'm afraid. We're 55 minutes in, and it's 3-0 to Harrogate Town. Bloody hell. I need to see a replay of this to kind of describe it. But in answer to your question, Irv, yeah, probably on this display. So they're now showing the replay. So it's a throw in on the right hand side. Again, simple flick on. Nobody's there on the right hand side defending. He's got all the time in the world to kind of set himself up, jimmy himself up. No one's going anywhere near him, and coolly slots away into the bottom right hand corner. Again, it's got kind of similar vibes about the first goal. No one's keeping a track of the guys on the wings, and this is what you talked about before the game, didn't you? You said about the wing play. And this is where you guys are getting found out time and time again. So it doesn't matter how good your centre halves are.
No.
If your wing play and your fullbacks can't do the basic stuff right, you're gonna keep getting punished. But it's happened again. Yeah. It's happened again. It's just.
I mean, Shamadou, Junior Shamadou, playing right back tonight. He hasn't played too many games this year. He's only 16, 17 anyway. So he's very inexperienced and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's been a problem the whole time, even when he's not played. So
right.
Regardless of who you play there, We've had Cohen at left back, and Cohen Brown at left back, who's down at Lincoln. Josh Doherty came from Crawley, and now we've got Brian Clampin at left back. And it's always the same. Like, we can't stop the balls going in the box from out wide, and I don't know what we've got to do to stop it, but maybe a traditional fullback rather than these wing backs.
This is the thing. Unless you're going to have somebody in there as a holding role to kind of take care of the back four when those guys are bombing on, you are leaving yourself massively at risk, aren't you? But that's the thing. The modern fullback, it doesn't matter what level of the game you're at, even at non-league, people want the modern fullback to be constantly up and down that pitch. And if you play like that, you know what, you are going to get found out, aren't you? Especially against, teams such as Harrogate, who have clearly identified that as a source of weakness.
Yeah.
And have taken full advantage of it. Sorry, mate, I've just updated the graphic. I do apologize. Bloody hell. I don't know what to say. It's just it's basic. Again.
No.
Again, I can't honestly sit here and say, do you know what? Harrogate fully deserve this. They've been absolutely brilliant. They've dominated from start to finish. It's been chance after chance after chance. Because if I did, that'd just be a barefaced lie. It's not been it at all. The simple reality is there's a long ball over the top for the first one, which it wasn't dealt with, and that led to a goal. The second one was a free kick that wasn't dealt with properly. And again, missed kick, mistake. The third one is a carbon copy of the first one. People are not dealing with it, not tracking their markers, and you find yourself 3-0 down. And, offensively, you probably haven't offered
too much,
but neither have they.
No.
Neither have they. They've just taken their chances.
I mean, it's been a game of about 4 or 5 chances.
Yeah, that is it. Mark just said, lads, can we please start talking about the weather or something? This is awful. Yeah. It's actually really nice today, Mark, to be fair. I actually enjoyed my afternoon walk. It was lovely. Shem, this is me keeping up. So, brilliant. Absolutely love that. Harrogate's scorer is on loan from Rangers, has been labelled by Stevie G as lots of potential. Is that McPake, I'm guessing? Do you mean, Shem?
Yeah.
Interesting. Again, there's not really anybody that I can kind of pinpoint from the Harrogate team and saying, oh, do you know what? He's having a blinder today. He's been absolutely superb. He's running his socks off. He's been doing really well. There's not. I can't say anybody's had a really good game, but Freddie said, looking forward to doing Altrincham away on a Tuesday night next season with Joe. Christ.
Yeah. Happy days. Love stuff like that. We've done Morecambe together on a Tuesday night. 52 fans in the ground that night, and 850 odd altogether. That was a good night for a 0-0.
I can hear your phone is pinging off left, right, and centre. You must be getting a lot of messages about this game, I bet.
It's Gert mostly saying this is awful.
Oh, dear me. I had a lovely bike ride today. Nice bit of sun. Yes, Mark, I know what you're trying to do. And yes, it was lovely today. Absolutely lovely. Porto are leading at Juventus, apparently, according to Shem.
Cheers, Shem.
Love that. Absolutely love that, mate. Keep those scorelines coming in. I tell you what, we are approaching, if the replay finishes there. Colchester lad is not happy about something that's happened there. But we're on the 61-minute mark, so let's bring up the latest scores from across the leagues up on the screen here, just while we've got a bit of a lull in play. So at the moment, it's Bolton 2-0 against Cambridge still. Grimsby is still winning 1-0. Crawley 1-0 against Salford. Morecambe and Forest Green is 1-1. Obviously, the Harrogate game, which is the one we're watching. Leyton Orient is 0-0 with Stevenage. Mansfield and Cheltenham is 1-1. Bradford 1-0 against Newport County. Southend are 2-0 down against Tranmere, as we know. Scunthorpe losing 1-0 to Exeter. And Port Vale and Oldham is a 0-0. So there's not a massive amount of changes in scorelines across the games at the moment. For you, Joel, is this? Do you think with that goal it's game over now? Can you see? You can't see any way back into this, can you?
So you've broken up, James.
I was just saying, obviously, with it being 3-0 now, can you see any way back into this game, or is it curtains?
No. I could see us going on and losing 4-5 tonight, to be fair.
Good opportunity for Colchester there. A ball over the top, through 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. He came out and closed the ball down quite nicely there. But first big chance there. Nice ball over the top, dinked through. And it's a decent effort, but the goalkeeper came out and made himself quite big there.
Quick off his line, weren't he?
Yeah, definitely. Tomorrow highs of 8, lower 5 French mark. Stop talking about the weather, man. Stop talking about the weather. Oh, dear me. Chris Ellis, I'm glad there's no
clouds.
Chris has said, I'm glad there's no fans. I would have gone to this game. Would you have found yourself going to this one on a Tuesday night, do you think?
I would have gone to it, yeah.
Definitely. Is it a ground you've ever been to?
No, I've never done Harrogate.
Right, okay. Are you one of those people that tries to do like the 92 and stuff like that? Is that kind of your bag, or are you just like Colchester through and through?
No, I'd Colchester through and through. Wherever they're playing in midweek, I'll go to. So
right.
Obviously Codden play Saturday, so I can't always go to Saturday games. So I've always said that regardless of where Colchester are playing on Tuesday or midweek, I will go. It doesn't matter where it is, I will go.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Ben is in the building. Good evening, mate. I hope you are doing amazingly well. I hope you've had a really good day. You're not catching Joel on his happiest. Let's put it that way at the moment. It's not. I don't know how much you've been in the chat, Ben, and I don't know how long you've been watching this for, but we've just described a few moments ago. The scoreline makes things look horrific from a Colchester perspective, but it really hasn't been that type of game. Harrogate have just taken advantage basically of 3 mistakes by Colchester, and it's as simple as that. You take the goals away, and this might sound a really stupid thing, but you take the goals away and there's been nothing in this match, absolutely nothing. But Harrogate have taken their chances, that they've punished Colchester when they have made their mistakes, and find themselves 3-0 up. Sorry, did you say Cowan Hall's about to come on?
Yeah, Cowan Hall and Giovanni Brown are coming on.
Right. Do you think it's a little bit too late for that?
I mean, it's just getting Paris some game time, I suppose. Getting some minutes in his leg. Yeah.
Shem has said, credit to Joel, as no bleep machine needed so far. I think I would have. I think I would have probably lost my rag a few times if I was Joel. Ben, just check the forecast, and apparently it's raining goals. Oh, Ben. Oh, dearie me, Ben. It's not been great. It's not been great. I tell you what, whilst the substitutions are taking place on my screen, I'm just going to check what the scores are in League One at the moment. Still 1-0 to Lincoln, which is good. Peterborough are now losing 3-1. So clearly that going down to 10 men is having a massive effect because they're now 3-1 down. Accrington are losing 2-0. Charlton and Northampton are still drawing 0-0. Doncaster are losing 1-0 to Crewe now. Bloody hell. Literally, no one wants that final playoff spot.
Oh, they don't.
Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. I'll tell you what, let me just see. So who came off for Colchester? So we had
Norwich.
Yeah,
And
Noah
Michael
Chilvers
Fellini.
came off for Paris Cowan Hall, and Michael Felivi came off for Giovanni Brown. So 2 substitutions. There's now 3 subs that Colchester have made so far in this game. Let me just see the reaction on Twitter to those substitutions. At 3-0 down, can Brown just step down and tell Robbie to get it in the external manager he should have had years ago? That's interesting. So kind of emulating the thoughts that you were saying earlier on there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Adam is here. Hope you're having fun, Joel. Adam, if you are available, I've sent you the link, mate. Come and join us. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link for today's stream in the chat. If any of you lot want to come on and talk about what's going on in this game, it's now there. If you want to come on, more than welcome to do so. Shem says Charlton have got a penalty in their game. The general reaction from those subs are basically, yeah, that is the big one. Can you tell Robbie to get in an external manager, emulating what you said? Do you think that's something that a lot of Colchester fans are currently feeling right now?
No, everybody's fed up of appointing from within. It hasn't worked. John McGrew was the most successful out of it, probably, but he was the one who had the most budget and possibly the best squad that we could have possibly had, and still failed with it. So
yeah.
I would say,
whilst the managers have kind of come in and out, and those changes have been made, has the sporting director or whoever it is that's in charge of that side of things, has that changed, or has that been the same throughout?
Same throughout. So you've got Tony Humes, who used to be a manager, used to be the head coach years ago, and for some reason is now director of football. And then you've got John D'Souza, who came from Brentford, who's head of performance, I believe. And they're breaking on us.
Matthew Tyrrell is here. Matthew, I'm here. Evening, mate. Hope you're doing well, Matthew. Thank you very much for joining the stream tonight, mate. Hope you're all right. Adam said still tied up, but just wanted to check the score. It's not getting better, is it? No. But again, the context of the actual game, it's not a 3-0. It's not a 3-0 game, but it is a 3-0 game. Sorry, Joel. Carry on. Your points that you were saying.
Pardon?
I was just saying, carry on with your kind of description of what's going on at the top level of the club.
Yeah, so it's frustrating because you could tell the players when Steve Ball was head coach, it was players were coming in and they weren't players that he wanted because they just weren't playing. It's as simple as that. So it was obvious that the recruitment wasn't there because he brought in Rem Oti, who's our number 9 tonight, and he didn't play. And he was signed as a striker. We didn't have any fit strikers at the time, and he still wasn't playing. So it speaks volumes that he wasn't actually good enough to play. So why are we recruiting someone that isn't good enough or isn't sharp enough to be in that starting 11? I'd suggest that the recruitment is pretty poor. Go on. Oh my days.
Well, Matthew, I hope your back gets better soon, mate. I hope it's not too much pain for you. yeah, when you have that structure, everybody needs to be on the same wavelength. Like you said, there's no point bringing in somebody who the head coach is not going to play and who doesn't feel is the right fit for him. It doesn't make sense. So long throw in here for Colchester. It's flicked on. Bit of a scramble in the box. Comes to the edge of the area. Shot. Ooh, goalkeeper saves it. Spills it. Oh, Colchester can't get the ball into the back of the net. That's really first big opportunity. Well, another big opportunity for Colchester here. They've had two in this half to kind of make something happen there, but unlucky. Just unlucky. It's a good effort from the edge of the area. Sorry, it's been a long day. Colchester the goalkeeper didn't really deal with it on there. Can't click the link. Okay, that's interesting. Sorry?
Copy and paste it, Mark.
There you go. Yeah. Try and copy and paste it, mate. See if that works. All you need is you don't even have to come on camera. If you just want to appear on the audio side of things, you just disable the camera. It's entirely up to you. If you want to come on and spout any opinion on what's going on at Colchester, I think it would be good to have another voice about what's going on at the moment. You've been really good in the chat tonight, mate, so keep it up. And like I said, just copy and paste it, maybe try that, see if it works, and click on that. Or if not, I think you messaged me earlier on, actually, on Twitter, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Potentially try and do that. If it doesn't work, follow me on Twitter and I'll try and get you on for the final few moments of the game, mate, just so you can give your kind of thoughts on what's going on. Matthew, yeah. Swansea drew 1-1 with Blackburn. Tom Tribal got an assist tonight for a Bradley Dack goal. Love that. Absolutely love that. Bradley Dack is such a player. So 74 minutes on the clock. Harrogate have got a free kick about 10 yards outside the area. Obviously, you've probably seen this fly into the top corner by now. Oh, Shem, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Ipswich have equalised. Do not want to hear that. Oh, that's dampened my spirits.
What an awful night.
Yeah. End the live stream. Cut it. I'm done. Oh, good effort into the wall and cleared by Colchester. That was a hell of a thump. Ball comes back in. It looks like Colchester are going to deal with it. The pass straight back. A ball across the area, but the goalkeeper easily claims it. It looks like it's an offside anyway. Lincoln isn't an easy team. I reckon they're going to score again. I bloody hope Lincoln score again. Let's put it that way. Any other updates from the other games that are going on at the moment? Because we're approaching the 75-minute mark. We've got 15 minutes left to go. No, Bolton's still 2-0. Grimsby 1-0. Crawley 1-0. No, all the same scores. No, actually, no real changes other than I think Mansfield.
Mansfield 3-1 up.
Yeah, Mansfield 3-1 up is probably the biggest change in scoreline. But other than that, all the rest of the scores seem to be more or less the same, to be honest. Shem has asked, what is the average attendance at Colchester and will this form affect season tickets next year? It's a good question.
Average attendance probably about 3.7, 3.8, something like that.
Okay.
I think we sell about 1,500 season tickets every year at the moment. So,
right.
To be fair, I think if we went down the conference and it got a little bit cheaper, I think you could probably get more in.
There's some big clubs down in the conference as well, to be honest. You know what I mean? There's yes, Mark, I will there you go. I'm now following you. Let me see if I can try and let me see if I can DM you. I'll try and get the link sent over to you, mate. Here we go. There you go, Mark. It's been sent over to you on Twitter, mate. So we should have Mark coming up on the. Yes, Hull winning 3-1 over Peterborough. We were just talking about that a few minutes ago. Chris Ellis, I can't wait for Dover away.
Can't wait for Dover away, yeah.
Brilliant. Mark, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us tonight. You've been very active in the chat. How are you?
Not bad. Yourself?
Well, I'm doing fine. I don't think yourself and Joel are, to be honest. What have you made of tonight? Because obviously we've been talking about it, throughout the game, etc. What does this kind of sum up the season so far?
It does in a way, in a lot of ways. It's just the same stuff every week. It's almost doing the same thing again and again and again, and just expecting a different result, which is a massive shame. It's just really, really frustrating to watch every week. Over previous weeks we've seen strikers played on the wing, wingers played up front. It's interesting because between Steve Bull and Wayne Brown, nothing much has honestly changed that differently. If it, like Joel says and other fans say, if it is down to Tony Humes or the background staff picking things or having a hand in things, I don't know. Proving that would be an awkward thing, but I can't see why we would have so many managers and then a director of football that's having a hand in the first team. That's not his job, so I'd find that hard to believe personally.
Well, we were talking about it earlier on in the stream. It does seem to be like the modern way that clubs are trying to go down now. That we've got, we've got the head coach, we've got the sporting director, we've got people who deal with the different sectors of the club rather than the traditional manager who deals with everything from top to bottom. So, is that something you think probably needs to be scrapped to the club, or you just have one person who knows this is the direction I want to go down, this is the players I want to sign, rather than, as Joel was alluding to earlier, you're signing players who the manager just does, or the head coach rather, just does not clearly want?
I wouldn't get rid of a director of football role within the football club. No.
Right.
Is Tony Humes the right person for the job? Most probably not, because I feel, and hopefully Joel can relate to this, I feel John Ward would have been a great one for him.
Oh yeah.
Just because he's been a manager for many, many years. He's done it in, I think, pretty much every division we've got in England, and I think he would have had the contacts and he would have been able to spot mistakes and support a manager. Whereas, with all due respect to Humes, I don't think he can. And
right.
Humes, when he was at Colchester, he had some great signings because originally he brought Callum Harriott to the club in the first place. He also brought Marvin Sordell to the club, but then he also brought, and again, it's just my opinion here, he also brought Matt Briggs, which is probably one of the worst left backs I've ever seen. So he had some absolutely brilliant signings and some absolutely shocking ones. So there you have it. I mean, I don't think he's the right one for the job personally. Is he picking the first team? Is he playing the thing in first team affairs? Absolutely not. I don't agree with that. And if anyone can actually evidence it to me, then fair play. I actually sit up and start listening.
So, I mean, moving forward now, obviously, there's still a few games to play for this season. What would you do about the head coach role, in inverted commas? Would you say give it to Brown till the end of the season? Do you think somebody else needs to come in? What would be your solution to things? Because quite clearly, it's not going well, and we've seen tonight the mistakes are still happening time and time again.
It's a difficult question because I think it would be really harsh on Wayne Brown to bring him in.
Oh, that's a pen.
Sorry, Mark. Okay,
maybe it's not a pen. I think it'd be really harsh on Wayne Brown to bring him in and then And then, I mean, he has been bringing on an interim period, and we've got to remember that. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's a 7-point gap at the moment. You know, if like Joel says, if Southend get themselves together, or the other teams below us get themselves together, we could be in big trouble. And at the end of the day, you've got to look at it. We're 3-0 down to Harrogate at the moment. You know,
yeah,
how many of our fans even knew who they were a year ago? With all due respect to them, I know
yeah,
that sounds like I'm being really cocky and arrogant, but you know, we've got a 10,000 seater stadium. We've got a training ground worth millions and millions of pounds. We've got a Category 2 youth system. You know, I'm not sure where our budget is in the league. I'm sure Joel will jump in and tell me, but it's got to be a lot better than Harrogate's. You know, so
Yeah,
you've really got to say what is going on that's so bad. I know you can go, oh, we lost Prosser last year, and Jackson was a solid right back, and you know, Comley when he was in the team, he was absolute quality. You know, and you are missing a few players, and it does play its part. But like you said, I think anything below 10th is awful. Really, he's just not good enough.
yeah. That was my kind of thoughts going into this season. I would have thought mid-tables, like that's been a bad year for you guys. And you know, we do our show that we primarily do on this channel is the Suffolk Non-League show. We have a Super Six going every week where we predict the results for Colchester, and I kept seeing that Colchester were losing game, and I didn't kind of realize how bad things were getting until I looked at a league table about a month ago, and I was like, bloody hell, how the hell have things got? How has it got this bad? Like this is awful. I mean, I suppose it's difficult to kind of pinpoint what's really happened this season. Obviously, talking to Joel, there seems to be a number of factors. What is there anything you kind of think is the main reason, Mark, for why it's not gone according to plan?
One thing for me is just we seem to be quite stubborn. If I go back to the Stevenage game a few games ago, we had forgive me, I'm probably wrong here. We had O2, we signed him. You know, we chucked him on for the last few minutes, and he generally seemed to make forwards runs, and we actually seem to be a little bit more creative there. Whereas this season, when I play, we're slow, we're lethargic, we can't get the basics right, like I said earlier. We can't get the basics right. We move the ball too slow. There is no movement. There is no stretching the other team or anything like that. But also our defending, you know, Tommy Smith has got a really good career behind him. You know, he is experienced and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
he's just not doing it. That when I think when we was actually allowed back in the stadium, when I watched him playing in person, he was getting beaten by the number 9 every single time. He was getting rolled by him and stuff like that. It was just really frustrating to watch. And again, Southend game, I had to watch it over on iFollow. What a pleasure that was, watching us lose to them.
yeah,
It was the way that straight away it was really obvious. Southend know if we press Colchester, they're not going to be able to handle it, because we are a team that wants to get the ball on the deck and play out from the back, but we can't do it. We can't do it, and it's been really obvious for a long time that we can't do it. And teams know that, so they go right. Okay, we've got Colchester. Let's get in their face. Let's press them. They're going to make a mistake. They're going to give away the ball, and they're probably looking at players like Omar and Harrow going, right. Okay, first thing, let's catch him out. Let's play a long ball over the top of him. We know Smith's not very well. Can we get at him as well? And they've done that in the first minute and scored. You know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
You could probably get away with probably not watching a lot of the games and predicting what kind of goals the other team are going to score against us or how they're going to happen. You know,
Right.
I'm no genius, and everyone might hear and might disagree with me, but you know, there you have it. That's my 20p put in.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, it's difficult because obviously I don't watch a huge amount of Colchester's games. I don't know the kind of full ins and outs of it. But you and Joel have both said the same thing throughout the show, and what you've just reiterated there. It's the style of play which is what is causing the problems. If every one of you guys can see that, if the fan base can see that this is not the right way to play with this squad, why do you? And I'll ask the question to you as well again, Joel. Why do you think the people that are in charge and the head coaches, etc., why do you think they insist and continue to play this style of football? Because
we've got Cowling as our chairman, and he employs yes men.
Right.
That's
Do you agree with that, Mark?
Cowling wants us to play this way. Cowling wants the whole club to work in the way that he's got envisioned. And that's fair enough. But
right,
it doesn't work when you play on pitches like League Two. You just can't do it. We're not good enough. Even if the player you had the step of quality of player up a gear, right? The pitches just don't suit playing passing football, and on slick, quick passing football. That is, you can play passing football at grandma pace if you want, but it's not going to get you anywhere.
What do you make of that, Mark?
I'll tell you what, I really agree with Joel's last bit there. The way he put in the summary of the slick football but a slow pace, he's absolutely right. It's not going to work. If you can tell me that every single manager is a yeah man, I'd probably struggle to believe you. We've seen types of different football over the years. I'll tell you what, and I'm going back a few years here. When Lambert left us and he went to Norwich, and we got Eddie Buford in, I turned around and said, that's the wrong manager for us, because it didn't suit the style of football we had. And then I think after Lambert, we had Buford, and then after Buford, we had John Ward. And then that's when all the internal appointments started. And for me, John Ward didn't do a bad job, and I kind of feel we got rid of him too early. What followed, I think, was Humes. Is that right, Joel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Joey Dunn.
Yeah, Joey Dunn.
I
had a lot of time for Joey Dunn, but that's probably because he was a legend for the club. But generally, the way we played football was exciting. You know, he got you off the edge of the seat. And even if we did lose a game, we lost the game like 4-3 or something like that. And it was entertaining, it was interesting. And it's great. You know, it was good to watch. But with this, it's just so... I haven't even answered the question. So predictable. Yeah, take from that what you...
No, I like it. Josh has said on here, Mark and Joel, centre-back partnership next game, please.
Well, Mark's 6'6", so he's got an advantage.
I'll tell you what, I'd probably fit quite well in at Colchester because I'm ridiculously injury prone and I've got no coordination. So me and Omar would be a brilliant centre-back partnership. We'd just both belong just watching on the sidelines, to be honest.
Joel, you've been watching the last 5 minutes or so. What I have to admit, I've kind of zoned off. I've just been like in a trance listening to Mark here. What's been going on in the last 5 or 10 minutes? What's been happening? I can see from my end, we're at the 90th minute now. We're in injury time, and Colchester got a free kick, which has just been put right into the back post, and it's a poor free kick. What's been going on? Has there been much chances or much going on?
Not a lot. Everything's been played in the middle of the park, and it's just a long ball into channels that go nowhere. Harrogate are getting a bit rough, but not a lot.
Seems to be a bit of a continuous pattern of play throughout the entire game, really. Yeah. Not really a massive amount in it. Played in the middle of the park. Like I said, it's not. I keep reiterating the point. It's not been a 3-0 game, has it? It really hasn't. Like, I've not been impressed by Harrogate one bit. Like, yes, they've taken their chances, but again, they've only taken them because Colchester basically gift wrapped them and and handed it directly to their feet. Do you know what I mean? It's not been, if someone asked to describe this game, I can't sit here and say that, Colchester have been terrible or Harrogate have been bloody amazing. It's just been 3 simple mistakes, and I don't know. Sorry?
It looks a bit of a 0-0 game.
Yeah. But I guess this is what happens though when you are at the bottom, doesn't it? Even when you're not playing horrifically badly, you're still making those mistakes that you make, on a regular basis. Matthews put Agent Lambert to the rescue for Colchester. I mean, would you even entertain the idea of him coming back?
No.
What about you, Mark?
I remember the day Lambert left us, actually, and the game after it.
The guy who never quit.
It was such a. What's that, Joel?
The guy who never quits, but has quit every club he's been to.
Yeah,
he's resigned a few times, and I think he's been given that ultimatum, hasn't he? A few places to kind of leave or be sacked, and it obviously looks better on your CV if you said I'll leave. No is the short answer. No, I wouldn't have him back just because of what he did previously. And a club like Colchester or any club, I think they want consistency, don't they? They don't want to have a manager for 6 months. They want a manager that's going to be there consistently and bring them success. You know, even if that's in Colchester's eyes, if that's viewed as bringing players through and then selling them for a fee, you know, after they've lined the first team for a good few years, then fine. But I don't think Lambert would do that. I don't think he would suit our club now. I did think, as much as what he did hurt me and hurt our fan base and hurt our club, because, you know, the day that he left, our captain, Dean Hammond at the time, went to Southampton as well. So
we've had
Dean
on the podcast. Myself and my colleague Adam, who's up in the top round corner, we had Dean on a podcast probably at this point last year, actually. And I remember him kind of talking about that, how it kind of came down a little bit to money, and it came down to a little bit of ambition. He kind of saw what was going to be happening the moment Lambert left, and he thought, I need to get out. I need to get out for my own sake, really. So, yeah, I remember Dean Hammond leaving quite vividly, actually.
Yeah,
he was a player.
I mean, Hammond was a good player, and obviously, I don't think anyone can disagree with that, because he went up the divisions, and well, we went down the divisions. You know, that's you can't question that at all. Was he any better than some of the players we had at that time? I don't know. You know, we had some decent midfield players and we had some decent players there. But then I feel when Boothroyd come in at that point, he kind of ruined it for us. Boothroyd really ruined it for us, because we had some decent players like Simon Hackney, and you had Perkins and Izzet that were quite short. You know, they didn't suit his style, but they were good, handy players, and they more than did a job, really. You know, you don't beat Norwich 7-1 by luck. Sorry to rain on your parade there, but you don't. You know, Norwich are a massive club. They have more season ticket holders than we've got. That doesn't happen by chance, and the results after that speak for itself. And then obviously Lambert left, and gradually I think we went backwards and backwards. We even got even mentioned in the local newspaper, Boothroyd, that we become a work in progress, which I find quite embarrassing, really.
Yeah. God, I remember that 7-1 day. Jesus Christ, that was bloody hell. It was well, I mean, obviously, if you look back now, and it was the best thing that could have happened to us. But back then, Jesus Christ, I got wasted like before the game, like completely and utterly gone. And I remember turning around to my dad about 25 minutes into the game, and I was like, "Are we really losing by that much, or am I just not really aware of what's going on right now?" God, what a horrific day!
I think this summarises being a Colchester fan. Sometimes I think we was 5-0 up by half time, weren't we? And you dragged a goal back at one point, and even our fans celebrated the goal. But then even I think my friend turned to me and he said, "Oh, what if they get back into it?" I was like, "But they've got like to score 6 goals." And he goes, "Yeah, but what if they get back into it?" I went, "Yeah, but they've got to score 6 goals to win. We can't possibly lose." And then I think he even felt a bit nervous. I was like, "Mate, we're 6-1 up here. Like, what are you on about?" And then obviously we went on to score a 7th, and then somebody ran on the pitch, didn't they, and threw their season ticket at Brian Gunn, and
Classic, absolutely classic. We got asked this question earlier on, Mark, and somebody else, Matthew, has now brought it up again. So we've already asked Joel his answer to this question. Who would you take as Colchester manager? Is there anybody that you want to see coming in at the moment? I know you mentioned that you think it would be harsh on Brown to not give him an opportunity, but is there anybody that you would love to see?
If we had the money for it, and if I don't know if he's in a job at the moment or not, but I would take Paul Tisdale. And the reason I take him is because generally he's done quite well with youth. I feel he's and I'm going to kind of say this unknowingly. I've got a feeling his style of football is similar to ours.
Right.
You know, and he's done quite well at developing players, which is what Colchester are all about. So if he could do that again, great. And also, he's a manager that's been around to a few clubs, but then he's not been a lot of clubs and moved around a lot. He's had a bit of success at each one, and they've been up there, like, you know, Exeter up there and stuff like that in the past. So, for me, it would be him.
Love it. I want to get both of your thoughts on this one. Tisdale's a great shout, says Shem, but he's also put Ian Holloway. Would you even entertain the idea of Ian Holloway?
No, not a joke.
Yeah, he's got some. Sometimes when I've heard him talk, he's got some very bizarre views. And as much as, you know, he was a guy that kind of yo-yoed between the Premier League and the Championship, didn't he? He's not going to, you know, look at what happened to him at Grimsby. He's not going to know what it's like to work in the lower leagues. And realistically, are we going to be able to afford his wages? What his demand's going to be? Because he played a big part in the board, didn't he, at Grimsby? Is he going to want to come here to Colchester and do that? And I know I don't like Cowling. I do, because I feel we're in safe hands with him. And I know, and I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he does, but I always kind of feel that he runs the club the best way he can.
Fair enough on that one. Just so that everyone knows, the game has finished. It finished quite some time ago, to be honest. We've been chatting for quite some time. Let's get some full-time results up on the screen here. So let me just refresh my page just so we can bring some scores up. So the full-time results: Cambridge did manage to pull a goal. Sorry.
Carlisle equalised. Happy days.
So Carlisle 1-1 against Grimsby. Bolton 2, Cambridge 1, Crawley 1, Salford 0. Morecambe and Forest Green playing at a 2-2 draw. Obviously, we know the Harrogate result. It finished 3-0. Leyton Orient and Stevenage finished 0-0. Very dull affair there. Mansfield 3-1 against Cheltenham. Newport 2-1 against Bradford. Port Vale and Oldham apparently still going on, but that's 0-0. Scunthorpe lost 2-0 to Exeter, and Southend lost 2-0 to Tranmere Rovers. So as things stand, here is the bottom of the league table. So Grimsby on 25 points, Southend and Barrett on 29, and then we've got Port Vale and Colchester in 20th place on 36 points. Joel, how do you feel after tonight's game? Is this result more or more worrying at this point of the season, or has this just been a continuation of what you've seen over the past few weeks? Are you now starting to get a little bit concerned, because 7 points is not much? It really isn't. It really isn't at this point of the season.
Yes, it's concerning. And obviously that can get cut at the weekend massively. I mean, we've got Greenfield on Saturday, and we can. I think if we lose that, we get pulled right in, and then we are really in a. If we win the game, then we pull ourselves away, don't we? I think our goal difference is better than what's below us. So that kind of gives you an extra point as well on top. So you're looking at Southend. We've still got to play Southend at home before the end of the season. We've still got to play. I think we've still got to play Barrow and Port Vale. So we've still got to play all the teams below us, and we've got to play Walsall again. So there's a possibility of a lot of 6-pointers as such in our running.
What about yourself, Mark?
To put it shortly, I agree with what Joel said. If you asked me that question a few weeks ago, I would have probably said you're being a little bit silly. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. You know, you could have went, oh, I said it a few weeks ago. I'm absolutely right. Look at me. I'm right. But at the end of the day, if you said to us probably when we was, when we battered, although it was our reserves and mostly their reserves, when we battered Southend 6-1, if you said to me, oh, you're going to go 15 games without winning, you're going to lose to Southend, you're going to lose to Harrogate, you're really going to struggle to even do the basics, I would have been a bit surprised. But, I'm certainly eating my words that I felt that we would at least be top 10 this season. And now look at us, we are in a dogfight, unfortunately.
Massive game this weekend then against Grimsby, as you said, Joel. I hope for your sake, because as somebody who covers non-league football in Suffolk and across the kind of range, the higher up the teams are in this area, the better it is for our level of the game. Joel, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the better it is. So I want Colchester to stay in the league purely for that. For that reason. I've got a couple of questions that people are sending in, and I don't know if people are joking around on this part, but I just want to ask them before we kind of sign off on here. Croaky Boy said, Mark, what do you think of Clive Platt? What's this about?
Give you a bit of backstory. Croaky Boy, he's Ryan. We're all in a group chat together. Me and Joel think quite well. I don't think we don't think it's exactly a world beater, but we think Frank Nouble's probably, is a half decent player. But I always quite rated Clive Platt, actually. I thought he was decent. Obviously, he's not as good as Chris Olumo, but I quite rated Platt. Good big target man, had a few goals in him. Him and the partnership Lisby had was quite good. So yeah, that's what I think of Clive Platt.
Joel, you laughed there. What? I've lost you.
You're fine. It's just Ryan being Ryan's awkward self.
Yeah, love it. Mark, Joel, absolute pleasure. Thanks very much, Mark, for coming on tonight and getting your thoughts on what's going on with Colchester. We are going to be doing a couple of watch-alongs in the near future, and I'm sure myself and Adam will want to sit down and watch Colchester again because it's been really good.
Why?
Why would you do that to yourself? There's a lot of going on in the world at the moment.
As a neutral,
you want to watch Colchester? Come on, mate.
As a neutral, I'm just fascinated to see what goes on at other clubs. And I say Colchester are one that we talk about quite a lot on the show. For the Super Six purposes of what we do. I just want to see how things have gone. Maybe a couple of a few games down the line under current regime. See if there's any way in which you guys are turning a corner. I don't know. And it'll be good to get Adam on the show and see what he thinks about it. But I've enjoyed it. Again, Mark, thank you so much for coming on, mate, and clicking the link and getting involved with it. I'll continue following you on Twitter, and I'll let you know next time we're due to go live on that one.
Yeah, lovely. Thanks for having me on. I'll probably get absolute pelters in the group chat when I go back because no one ever I often think I'm watching a different game to everyone else, and I think they feel the same way as well. So
all views are welcome on this show. Cheers, Mark. Really appreciate you coming on.
Right,
Joel, absolute pleasure tonight, mate. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a shame the result didn't go your way, but I hope you've enjoyed it anyway.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it, and hopefully next time we'll have a better result for you to watch along with.
Yeah, definitely. But we'll like I said, we'll get Adam on. We'll get yourself on again, and we'll do this and hopefully chew over a Colchester win next time. But thank you to everyone.
Nice.
Shem has put a love tonight and listening to views from fans of different clubs. Thanks, Jens. I'll get Joel a pint regardless next season. Love it. Absolutely love it. That's what we're going to end it on. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, all that kind of stuff. If you want to see more watch alongs that we do on the channel here, Norwich, Ipswich, Colchester, Cambridge, we're going to be doing a whole lot more towards the end of the season. Get involved, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any watch alongs and any future shows. But until next time, as always, guys, thank you very much. Adios.